Yo, 420 Kids live direct in effect, Oklahoma City bound to D-Town. Knowledge is key, Dirty Mac, and what's happening?
What's the business? Raise the frequency, raise the vibration, man. Worry Tuesday, it seemed like, man. Everybody got that, let's get this energy together. Let's get it right for real.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Yeah. We can't say nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get to it, man. I mean, Aretha Franklin. She can't even make a song called Natural Woman no more. Like, hey, man, quiet. Don't say, yeah. We got to fix the vibration.
Yeah, the vibration is definitely messed up, man. It is definitely messed up. Everybody's in their own world right here and unstuck in their own head rules. Nobody wants to classify themselves as anything. Everybody's different than the masses. So when we have these type of problems, we have these type of altercations. Like Aretha Franklin's songs, Natural Woman is being deemed offensive by the trans community. This is very misleading. Let's see. They said they got it deemed offensive. What do you think is offensive by the song?
Now, Aretha Franklin's song, Natural Woman, is deemed offensive. Trans women. Outrageous activists demand song is removed from Spotify and Apple Music. I mean, I have to say this, man. Natural Woman is not a diss song. She made Natural Woman like a Love Yourself song. That was not a diss song when it came out. So we got to be, leery of who is putting out this news, who is causing. I got to figure out like who's causing these problems because, I'm not going to jump subjects too hard. But prior to us having this conversation, we had a conversation about prison industrial complex, the amount of people in prison. We were getting, say, black on black crime. We have all these different labels. I think it's time for the labels to go. Like, I only see the current. I only see the current of energy that you have in between you, that you can build and create and cultivate a certain type of energy to where I'm gonna see that energy. I'm not gonna see the color first. And the reason why I'm saying exactly what I'm saying is now we're dealing with a song called Natural Woman. You have people that wake up every day and say, I hate my hair. I hate my hair, because they never wear their natural hair every day. And Aretha Franklin making that song was at a time where people were losing the fact that they couldn't wear their natural hair. They couldn't be their natural self. So she was really bigging women up. It wasn't a diss song, but when we started having these labels of, oh, so she's trying to be natural, but this person got blue hair in their head. This person got red hair in their head, and they're afraid to wear their natural hair. They're the ones that wake up and say, I hate my hair. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, a lot of these labels without proper understanding. Reason why I went to the prison industrial complex is this: for 70% of the people that are incarcerated came up from single women households. A lot of the men are not being in those households. A lot of them because of infidelities or whatever different type of thing. But it is creating an environment to where you can say nothing. I mean, I'm a Natural Woman is a diss song. I mean, we going in the past and we want songs taken off of social media, Spotify, and Amazon Music. They want her music taken down because she said she was a natural person.
They're going too far. That's too far. That first off, she's talking about black women in their natural state, their hair. You know, natural woman. This is well before the trans movement. So this is what happens when we have classification issues, people. I'm not the person that's consumed with titles, but titles identify things. It's a gender crisis going on. It's a mental health crisis. It's a drug epidemic crisis going on. So the mentality, me personally, I would diagnose same-sex marriage and all as a mental health. And it technically was been diagnosed by doctors as a mental health disorder. But me personally, people can do whatever they like to choose, but it's more of a rape thing for them to try to force this. And I think just call it what it is. They always want to identify with the African American culture or the struggle, but then yet they trying to diss and they turning this to a diss song, and they trying to cancel her. They trying to remove her family money from her family. We're in this colorblind society where we act like race isn't important, and we see gender isn't important, ideologies isn't important, classifications isn't important. This is a major topic. Like, again, this is not to insult, this isn't to inform. So but I think they've gone beyond measure with this. They're going way too far. Way too far, bro. Come on, natural woman. That's crazy. That's my
yeah, man. Like I say, that is crazy. Natural woman, someone's offended by that. I mean, you right on a lot of things there, like to hit on point. I mean, nobody does want to identify with anything. I think because they don't know how to identify with the truth. With the truth, when you say your life force, like I say, it's sexual energy. When you say a woman is somebody born with a womb, period, point blank. So when you say trans woman, I mean, I want to get, that's what we need to get people from certain communities, get them.
Trans is a prefix, right?
But I want a trans
transformational. Transformational.
Yeah.
That's what that means. So that's not a natural woman.
So, but why? But if you can say trans woman and people are not offended, why can't you say natural woman and no one be offended? Like, see, this is the point with labels and triggers. Like, it's cool when you say things as long as someone doesn't get offended, but you can't control someone getting offended because a lot of times they're offended by the truth, and the truth triggers people. So therefore, if you trigger by the truth, that's like a you thing. It shouldn't be a world thing. That shouldn't be, somebody say Hebrew to Negroes. Oh no, you can't say it. We're offended. Whatever a person says now is offensive. If we're trying to get to the truth, or we're trying to get to survival, you want to get down to the bottom of what's real and what's not. You know what I'm saying? Or at least be able to hold a discussion intelligently without cussing somebody out, raising your voice, getting outrageous. Like, let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? If this is a situation, because I look at the people that people called transgender or bisexual or all these different things. I look at it as in between. They say bi. That's kind of in the middle or whatever they saying. Like they saying born man but identify as a woman. Born man but identify as a woman. A woman say born woman but identify as a man. So they somewhere in the middle. So I look at it and say a lot of these people, just like certain nuns or priests, I'm not sure that they supposed to be having. I'm not the judge. I would rather they get on here and speak for themselves. But from a spiritual perspective, I've seen people in Kemet not be what they call or deem as gay or, with that community. But a lot of them were high priests. They read books. They identified with, they look like they were men dressed in feminine clothes. But you look at them, they were like the priests. They was making decisions, but it was coming from a spiritual perspective. But you never seen them hanging around a bunch of men or wanting to be, you say what?
I think that back in the days, because it's always been drugs and things of that nature. They were drugs, just like what's going on with the homosexual community right now. It's a lot of drug addiction going on, whether it's medicine, the Adderall, the methamphetamines, all that stuff is like, this is the stuff the Nazis was on in the war when they was going to war against the Germans. You hear me? So a lot of the killings going on, but it's man.
And let's make no mistake about it. We in a perverted society. This society is full of perversions, you know. So when you look at how perverted it is, and then you realize that your sexual energy is your life force, and you pervert that, then you waste a lot of your life force on stuff that you shouldn't even really be paying attention to. So if we look at that and we say sexual energy, then of course somebody is going to want to pervert that, because now they can take control of you, because the strongest energy you have in your body, you now go waste that time or waste that energy instead of use that energy the way, it's a system that's using everybody's energy. You know what I'm saying? The only way for that to happen is if you don't know what your life force is. That's the only way is for you to be confused. And of course, people are confused. People are confused about a whole lot. People say, there's a lot of confusion. So I don't point out which confused person is more confused than the other, because I feel like we are confused. So therefore, the least we can do is speak truth, be able to talk to each other in a level-minded type of way, and let's try to figure this stuff out. Because I don't care what community you're from, there's no way you're looking at a natural woman from Aretha Franklin and you getting, that's not a diss. That's not a diss.
Yeah, high power. Beep, beep. High power. Beep, beep, beep. You hear me? For real, bro. That's some high powered.
Yeah.
Y'all making up stuff now. You hear me?
Completely.
They making up stuff. That's some man. Come on, man. Yeah. And I always want to identify with the African American struggle, and then y'all act like this. You hear me? Y'all act like this. Let's call it what it is, man. Why would you choose that song?
Yeah. Is there African American struggle? See, it's so many topics. We be looking for topics. Is there really an African American struggle? I mean, was all people of a certain descendants really brought from Africa? Is every person in America right now from Mexico? Is every person in America right now from Spain? Is every person in America right now from Cuba? Like, we have to start looking at, if we're not going to dissect these labels and really try to figure it out, it's something else. You say what?
Dissecting the labels, and I understand what you're saying as far as I don't subscribe to Black and African American pertaining to nationality. But me, I am Black and African American under the titles of United States, but I'm from Ghana. You hear me? My bloodline is from Ghana. So the whole narrative with the African American, to me, that's righteous.
Yeah,
that's righteous. No, not it. I would say because even though the white people named that, as long as a horse, they named a dog, they named a cat. You hear me? They named every other thing. You hear me? So when they named us African Americans, that's a righteous one pertaining to this, where our lands come from. And they double saying we the indigenous people to both lands. That's where they messed up. You hear me? We got to identify ourselves. Back to what you were saying, though.
Yeah, man. I just say, it's totally out of hand. That's the only thing I can say about it. It's out of hand, and it's the fact that we can't sit down and talk and have these discussions, man. Like, I reached out to a few women because I want to have the discussions that the husband and wife can't have together, because the husband gonna get triggered by the things he did in the past with the wife. He don't want to bring it up. The wife don't want to bring up certain, and then they bring it up when they pissed. They you cheated 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Or all these things that come up that make it hard, that are allowing these young people to be raised lost. Like, they talk about spending. Men are wearing purses. This generation is different because they feel hopeless. What is left there for this generation? You know, the generations before us, they lied to said Santa Claus, that they was open with things they know wasn't true. So
Easter
now
Bunny.
the Easter Bunny. So now Tooth Fairy. So now what are we doing in this generation? We're repeating the same process. You know, we don't take things that we know not true, digest it, break it down, see what's true, move forward. We don't do that. We don't learn the first time, so we don't have to learn the second time. You do it right the first time, you don't have to do it a second time. You know, you got it right. But we keep making the same mistakes over and over, like the Energizer Bunny, over and over and over again, instead of just realizing, hey man, something's true, then it's true. It's not gonna change. You know, only Googling what the, you know, CERN starts spinning a certain way. And this is a crazy thing. Like people tap in if you thought the capital city in Georgia is Atlanta now. But you know, when we were in school, it was always Augusta, I want to say. Augusta was always the state capital of Georgia. Now, I don't know what happened or this Mandela effect. I don't know what to call this stuff, but some things are there, then it's not there. You know, it happened a certain way. Then you look in the history books, it didn't happen like that no more. So people can change the history books. They can change time. They can, if this is possible, then the least we can do is tell each other the truth so we can have a remember or a recollection of how things really did happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? At the least we could possibly do is keep truth on the record books or wait or what we know is happening now. And if we calling ourselves black people or saying, hey, we was just labeled this, so we got to do it, and we look at each other and see that that's not true, hey man, we not being honest with the future. You know what I'm saying? It's bump if it's me or and how I feel like, or if it's gonna crash or wreck somebody's hard drive, because it could wreck and crash somebody's hard drive. Like it could do that. I broke my foot the other day. I didn't have zero. I put it like this: if I was paying attention to what I do several times on, yeah, if I would have seen the truth, then my foot would. But everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. That's the only thing. You was about to say something, bro. Go ahead with what you
right. You're right. See, and I understand and I straddle the fence on stuff you saying, and I agree and disagree. But I be like, yeah, it's in some stuff, the stuff that I say I straddle the fence, it's just two different perceptions. Like, this used to be our land. We weren't brought here. We were here. We are the indigenous people to America. But now it's their land. You hear me? So we were Moors. We ruled with Northwest America, the South North Americas. That was once previously in the past. The time is now. Right now, this is what we say, a white man's world. You hear me? This is a songs. So the time is now. The past is gone, and the future ain't here yet. So the classifications right now with everybody, I inspire free thinking, but it's. I mean, man, we have boundaries for reasons. We have rules and just to prevent chaos. Everybody, no, it doesn't matter what rule it is or any. We have problems with structure as far as people, because the people who have the power, they're only obtaining power and obsessed with keeping the power. You know, that's what they say. Game is to be sold, not told. And you know, so with that thing, us identifying as one, I don't care what we call ourselves. You see how the LGBT community, that the women didn't used to go, they didn't used to rock with that gay, the men being gay, because they had to lay up with the men. You hear me? Now once they put them all in the community, it's like everything. It's like anything's going. You hear me? That's
yeah. You have to understand the science behind that. There's a science behind what you're saying, and it ain't just that they join in the community. What happens is that when women give birth, that child is tied to an umbilical cord. You know, so that umbilical cord is the life force that's feeding that offspring. So when you look at it, and these women start having these sons that they know are feminine at a young age, and they love their son no matter what. When they start joining in these communities, a whole lot of the mothers are going to start to support it. The daddy, you know, a lot of time going to be like, nah, that ain't what I seen it for is my son. So the women, yeah, of course, like you got cousins that are other cousins that, you know, brothers, sisters. yeah, eventually the women are gonna partake and say, yeah, it's cool. Even some men, bro, I know I can't control nobody's life or who they are. I can only look at them from a spiritual perspective and try to heighten their senses and help them along the way to be as safe as they can, whatever possible route somebody take. Try to give them the proper tools to be, as smart as they can along their journey. I would hope that anybody to see me, that would be the exact same thing they do.
Let
Like,
me
make sure
ask you this.
what's that, God?
Let me ask you this. No matter race, the population, how much do you think control does the American population have over their lives beyond racial boundaries?
Beyond how much
Is this
control?
like a communist? What is this economy? It's a free land of the free, all that bullshit that they be preaching and talking.
So what you asking me? Do you want me to give you the deeper answer or the surface level answer? Surface level answer.
You want to go?
All right. So
give me the surface level first.
All right.
And then go to the deep one.
Surface level answer. Do we control or run our lives? Surface level? No. We go to school. We're taught to be workers. We taught to get older, go to school to be a doctor, go to school for whatever you're going to do. After that, if you don't go to school, then you're going to work in the warehouse. If you don't work in the warehouse, you might get you a CDL, you might be a truck driver. But if you want to be a teacher, and I say, okay, so this, unless you are a sport, you're very good at sports, you can go to school or you can skip school, go to the NBA or NFL. If you're a freakish athlete, it might be another way for you. Surface level answer. Now, the deeper level to that is that you're born with a soul that controls your blood pressure, your heart rate. It takes thoughts. You can go into yourself and tap in. Some people have had basically been put in a coma and seeing certain things and then come back with certain information and nobody knows how they know it. How does that person know what they know? So there are certain people that basically crack the matrix. They crack the code. There's certain people that didn't go to school or do none of that, and they rise above and they realize, no, nothing ever ran their life. They was in control the whole time. So those rules do not apply to that person, the surface level. But the surface level is the majority of people. You're talking about 98, 99% of the people are going to be surface level thinking people. So those people, yeah, they're not in control of their life. Yeah.
I got another question for you.
What's that?
So if 98% of the people are surface thinking people, now that other 2 or 1% is controlling the narrative. Correct. They're controlling 98% of people.
It's even
but how do you teach? It's smaller than that.
Yeah.
How do you teach 99% or shit, 1% or shit? If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I understand exactly what you're saying. You do what me and you've been doing on this show the whole time. Bro, I'm gonna try to strip the layer off anything somebody sit on. Me myself, if you sit on that and you box yourself in and you think that I'm gonna try to take that box away, and once all the boxes of what you can put in, once you strip all those layers of boxes away, you realize, man, this world is unlimited. The potential of what you can learn, everything that we've been taught. As soon as you think you got it right, you're gonna see it's still more to learn. That you still don't know. So
the world is infinite. So why would I ever be limited?
Man,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. Hey, yeah, real talk. So it's like that's exactly where it's at, man. If what do we do, man? A whole community wants to wipe away Aretha Franklin song, Natural Woman.
Aretha Franklin, man. God, man. Gee, man, come on. Y'all messing with Aretha Franklin? Man, the queen of soul. Y'all pick, she has to take it down because whatever is in your head.
Yeah.
This is the world we living in today.
It is. It is. I mean, but hey, that's, and I say, I don't know if we speaking too much truth. Like, that's the crazy thing. We get on here and be like, man, am I saying too much? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people have to ask themselves, Oh,
Hey, burn my shit up. But yeah, go
man,
ahead.
but a burn it up sense of you. But then you have these people on here who talk about celebrities. If Young Thug is in jail and who's snitching on him, this is the consistent press of news attention that people want, that they want to put people in list, because it's gonna make you think down. Man, you know, you go to the store, people looking like this. Man, raise the vibration. Raise the vibration of this play. Hey, raise your energy. Raise them levels up. Like it ain't nothing wrong with leveling up. That's a good thing. A good
Like we
thing.
say.
And if you are part of that community, tap in, brothers. We would love to bring anybody up here to even support and say, I love the song Natural Woman. You know, I don't feel that way. If there is another entity putting these type of vibrations out here to make people at odds, let's fix that too. Let's break them odds. Like, you know, we talk about everything, man. We open, you know. Just ain't nobody gonna get on, you know, we ain't gonna get on here and the disrespect thing. We're not gonna do none of that, but in a respectful way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The views and the opinions reflect the individual as a whole, you know, and not the assembly. So viewer discretion is advised. This is to inform, not to insult people. You know, this is to inspire thought, you know, difference of opinion, different of perceptions. But we come together to these think tanks and we collide our ideas. We bounce off of each other. You know, we ride each other's waves. You hear me? I appreciate Brother Knowledge always pulling up. You know, he's the go-to guy. You hear me? Or everybody else be doing whatever it is they doing. You hear me? So, man, in closing, man, I think I gotta call it out. Hey, man, we gotta call them out. Yeah, I think they're being very disrespectful to Aretha Franklin's legacy. That's very disrespectful. I've never heard it, like you said earlier, and I start arguing about hey, this ain't a rap song. I'm talking about if your baby mama, I run up in your house, slide on your dog, or you collide on you. If you be, you hear me?
Yeah.
No, that's not this type of song. So, hey, man, y'all miss me with that. You hear me? It's straight like that. In closing, what you got for us, Brother Knowledge, man? Hey, man, that's crazy.
Closing statement. Shout out to Aretha Franklin, her and her family. I'm wondering who owns the masters to her music. Like, I wonder who owned the masters to it. Like, does her family own it? Is it something where they trying to shut them out? It just seems weird. You know what I'm saying? So hey, I say each one teach one. Whatever makes us think to think and learn and strive for better. Hey man, like, share, subscribe. We out there.
Peace, God.